There was a time when poor people bought McDonald's to eat it, the consumers, and the rich people invested in McDonald's. But, excuse me, guys, there was a shift and things started to change in the world where the children of the poor people started waking up due to something called the internet, and they started investing in McDonald's or in new startups that's going to be the next McDonald's, so to speak. So the establishment had to change the game, and they started shorting companies in order to shake off the children of the poor people. And some of the children of the poor people held on to the tree and was not shaken off, and they became multi-millionaires, whilst most of the children of the poor people could not keep up with the game and they fell off the tree. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research so the game keep evolving in order to keep the poor right where they are. What are you doing to ensure that your children are not poor? I know what I'm doing. So as the whales keep buying in, as I've proven it with Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and the rest of them, whilst JP Morgan were telling you guys don't buy, I showed you all they were buying. Morgan Stanley raises NEO's price target, sees 28% upside potential. Now, is it just a 28% upside potential? Of course, we know that NEO should be $300 a share if it was a Rivian, if it was an American company, or perhaps even more. But this is the way the game is played, and you have to have patience to win at the game. So they will start inching us up little by little. Whilst, excuse me guys, the reason why they do that is when it reached certain price point, even a teacher in my school said to me today, she said, I hope I don't sell too early and get too excited. And I said to her, well, if when you sell the little bit of shares that you have, if it can pay off your daughter's college, by all means, go ahead, I told her. I said, but if not, you should wait. And it kind of woke her up. It ignited a spark in her brain. Because in the beginning, when I told her about stocks, she said, I would like to pay my daughter's college. I says, this is one of the ways that you can possibly do that. So it reminded her why she invested and why making $2,000-$3,000 is not the goal. So Morgan Stanley updated its model on electric vehicle maker NEO on Wednesday, trimming its 2025 sales estimate but reducing projected operating expenses. Yes, operating expenses will be reduced and net losses to reflect the company's restructuring plan. But also remember, we will be increasing our margins due to all the in-house technology. In a new research note obtained by Price Target, analyst Tim Sau raised the base case scenario value by 10% to $6.60, whilst the bull and bear case scenario values were lifted 11% to $10.70 and $2.10 respectively. The firm reaffirmed its overweight rating of NEO shares. In mid-July, Sau had reiterated a $5.90 price target, citing solid pre-order intake for Onvo's 6-seat model L90. So the man had the vision, he saw it. He's always given us good ratings. At that time, Morgan Stanley highlighted that the vehicle had secured between 30 to 35,000 pre-orders within 4 days of its pre-launch. Now we know it's way more than that. We mark to market and reduce our 2025 volume estimate by 9% to 330,000 units to reflect a weaker than expected first half, Sau wrote, adding that the 2026 and 2027 volume forecasts are largely unchanged at 470,000 to 586,000 units. Let me also say this, guys, and I've said it before. There's a reason why the CEO said it would be sudden and massive, and I added violent, because there's a lot that's happening all at once. The L90, the L60 ramp up because the L90 brought recognition to the L60 and NEO brand, believe it or not, a sub-brand that brought recognition to the main brand. We have Chery and Geely releasing battery swap enabled models by next month, the third quarter, they said. We have the L80 coming. We have the ES8 coming. It is going to be massive and it's going to be sudden. Hold on to your seatbelts. For 2025 and 2026, Morgan Stanley projected a 42% year-on-year increase in vehicle sales, supported by what Sao described as the solid order intake of Onvo L90 to underpin more meaningful volume recovery. Volume recovery. From 2026 to 2027, sales growth is estimated at nearly 25%. But it's going to be more than that because we're going global. But this is the way the game is played. Gross margin estimates for 2025 remain largely unchanged, while projections for 2026 and 2027 were raised. Citing the company's ongoing restructuring and headcount reduction, cutting costs, Morgan Stanley lowered its 2025 operating expenses by 10%. Our net loss estimates narrowed by 8%, 13%, and 9%. In 2025 and 2027 respectively. So it keeps going down. While our net loss per share changes similarly. The firm lifted its 12-month price target to $650 from the previous $590, which we know it should be way more than that, which was reaffirmed last month. Because see, what's going to happen, guys, as we continuously put out deliveries in a consistent manner and keep climbing with that next factory coming, we can see $21 by the end of the year. Based on the current stock price, the new target implies an upside potential of 28%. So I'm not going to go into the whole article, guys. You guys can find this on X, but we have to look forward to, they say, to the ES8 that's coming up on Thursday. Showrooms units have already been shipped to its stores across China. The official launch is slated for the company's annual event in late September. And we saw a great piece of marketing where they had the MPV, most valuable player from the NBA, over there in China, rode in an ET9 and said he loves the ES8 and wish he could have it over here in China, in America, sorry, with a battery swap station. So people are waking up and realizing, just like what Toyota did, we're doing it, but on a high end. I hope you guys found this video yet again to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up right there. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and the editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie from the ground level up as to how the games are played on Wall Street. And like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.